let's talk about that. Keep it on the conference. After 9 games, who's the biggest disappointment in the conference for you, and who's the biggest surprise? And I guess it could be team, it could be player. I don't care. What do you think?
Um, there's certainly a lot to pick from for
Yeah,
disappointment. Huh?
there are.
I'd probably say Kansas because like this was supposed to be their year. Jalen
Right.
Daniels was, maybe gonna have like a Heisman push at some point, and it hasn't materialized. Um, and there, that's because like Oklahoma State's like every team has a down year every once in a while, and but Kansas was like the team on the rise. They were kind of the feel good story. They're finally good after so long, and to kind of just drop right back, kind of stinks. And then surprise, like BYU and Colorado are the obvious ones, but to me it's Arizona State
Mm-hmm.
because I thought they were going to struggle to win a Big 12 game. Like I thought they were the worst team in the conference in the preseason, and for them to be in this whole mess with all the 4-2 teams, that I'm quite impressed by that.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I know Zach, you were high on Arizona State,
Ben High. Yeah.
but I don't think would you have seen this coming at the start of the year this
No,
fast?
not this fast, but like I said earlier this season, I really like Kenny Dillingham. I think he's a good coach, and I think that when you get a few players like Sam Levitt, who, I know well from watching him at Michigan State, is a capable quarterback, and Cam Scatabo is a really good running back, and you get some dudes from Texas on that defense. Like, no, I don't think the Sun Devils are. I'm not surprised at all that they're doing what they're doing this season.
Hmm.
Um,
So who's your surprise?
Houston is my surprise.
I agree with that. Like
I thought they were gonna be.
I thought they were like on the track to be 2-10, and then they jumped up and beat some teams.
I mean, beating Kansas State and Utah in back-to-back weeks. Like, say what you will about how Utah is, and even Kansas State, but those are two really good teams, solid NFL dudes on on those rosters. And I was questionable about Willie Fritz at that hire, and from what I understand, he likes to tear it down to the studs and then build it back up, which he's done really well in the past. But I thought they were going to struggle this year, like bad. And for them to be 3-3 in the conference, like that's good for them. They're
And you know
on the
how
way
I
up.
feel about Willie Fritz. I
Uh,
love Willie Fritz. I covered Willie Fritz back at Blinn College in the 90s, long time ago. And so, yeah, I think he'll do a great job. But how about your disappointment? Who would that be?
I can't overlook Oklahoma State. Like that's just it seems like when you have someone like Ollie Gordon, who last year was a legit Heisman contender, and you have all five of your offensive linemen coming back, you have a couple linebackers that dominated that were in the top five in tackles in the Big 12 a year ago. Like you had all these pieces and you have all this NIL, everything at Oklahoma State says they should be the one to step up and fill the void for Oklahoma that Oklahoma and Texas left, and you haven't. You fall and not just you haven't. You fall on your face and you like
Right.
trip over yourself. And I know there's injuries and excuses, but I don't know. Every time I watch a Mike Gundy press conference, it seems like he's completely uninterested in his team, in just everything. It's just like all he wants to do is pontificate about the state of college football and talk about all the things how it was better back in the day when they were scoring 50 points and all that. Like I don't know. There's just some weird stuff going on in Stillwater that I just think it's very disappointing to see.
Yeah,
The problem
yeah.
the problem with Gundy is nothing he does could ever surprise me. So like going 0-9 in the conference to me is just like, oh, that's Gundy,
Right.
right? It's like of course that's just kind of who he is and the persona he's built. It's like anything's possible, even the bad stuff.
But it's
Yeah,
like take some responsibility for
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at least it's don't just like I don't know, blame the fans or
Yeah.
blame like they're just like take some ownership of what's happening and say, all right, this is what's going on. This is how I'm gonna fix it. Or, don't just I don't know. That just rubs me the wrong way.
Oh
well,
yeah.
and Zach, we had Barry Trimmel on our podcast earlier this year and asked him about, if Gundy, if they were to continue to kind of lose and stuff, if he would be on the hot seat. And Barry didn't necessarily think so, that he had had enough cachet there in Stillwater as both a, former Oklahoma State quarterback and just what he's done over the years. Obviously, Oklahoma State has been pretty consistent over the years, but I don't know because I know Oklahoma State fans. I've got a few friends who are, and they're not quite as happy about Gundy. So, yeah, I don't know.